Grand Rapids police are investigating the first deadly shooting of the new year.
Gunfire erupted outside of this liquor store behind me. 6 separate shootings.
Ongoing homicide investigation. The person who was killed.
2 men are dead.
The
3
victims
people have
were
been
already
killed
showing
in
up
less
at
than
the
2
hospital.
weeks.
Being investigated as homicide. 23rd homicide.
25.
27th homicide.
34 homicides.
2020 officially marks the deadliest year in Grand Rapids.
The most violent in Grand Rapids history.
From Wood TV, a Target 8 investigation into the most violent year. Here's Ken Coker.
Here in Grand Rapids, the streets have taken a turn for the meaner. More homicides last year than ever before. It also happened in suburban Wyoming and reached historic levels in Kalamazoo. And in cities across the country, violent crime soared. Tonight, we're taking you beyond the numbers. We'll explore what's leading to the growing violence, the role of a pandemic, illegal guns and gangs, and the impact of civil unrest. But we're also taking you to where the pain is real, inside the homes and hearts of those who lost the most. In Grand Rapids and elsewhere in West Michigan, more triggers were pulled with ill intentions last year than ever before. More bullets hitting their marks, more bloodshed, more collateral damage, more mothers' tears. And with those tears, more cries to end the violence.
My cousin was victim number 1.
My son was victim number 10.
My twin brother was victim number 13.
My son was victim number 27.
My cousin is victim number 28. My son was victim number 32.
My son was a victim 38.
Tonight, a man has been killed after a shooting on the southeast side of Grand Rapids, our 38th homicide in what is already a violent year, the most violent on record.
This is my little baby.
Number 38, Marquise Townsend, 2020's last homicide victim in Grand Rapids. An unarmed 28-year-old father of 3, gunned down near a church just after Christmas for reasons unknown by a man so far unknown.
Those tears that are falling from their eyes are tears of pain and hurt. No mother wants to bury her child before her. No mother.
Grand Rapids was not the only city in West Michigan setting a deadly record last year. The city of Wyoming had its bloodiest year, 8 homicides. The 2 victims came from Central America as unaccompanied children looking for a better life. But their lives ended here. The 2, ages 16 and 20, were at South Division and Wilbur Street in Wyoming just before 5 p.m. on September 16th when somebody opened fire from a car, shooting them both in the head.
The danger, the violence that we've seen in 2020 in our city is very concerning.
Kalamazoo reported its most homicides in at least 25 years, 15. And when you factor in population numbers, it has a higher homicide rate than Grand Rapids.
This is a little small town, and there's been so much killing around here. Don't know what to do no more.
It was extremely troubling. I never thought that we would ever see that number of shootings in Kalamazoo. Never thought that would be possible.
In Grand Rapids, the 38 homicides surpassed the record 34, set in 1993. But a Target 8 analysis found that last year's killings were far different than they were back then. Just a quarter of the city's homicides back then involved guns. Last year, most did.
We're going to scenes where having 20 to 25 casings is normal. And in my 25 years, I have never seen this.
In Grand Rapids in 1993, a quarter of the deaths were street killings. Last year, most were. On sidewalks, in parked cars, in parking lots, even in a cemetery.
Early Thanksgiving morning, the Cloud family's world was shaken.
In the case of Avion Cloud, victim number 34 outside a gas station.
I was there when Avion took his first breath. I wanted to be there when he took his last. I didn't get that chance though. But I did yell his name at the scene. So he knew I was there, but I couldn't get to him.
Her son, all of 17, worked at McDonald's and had big plans. He had gotten a certificate of welding and was proud of it. She recalls being with her son once when he saw a man begging for money.
There was an older man sitting there with a sign. He got paid, gave him a couple dollars, gave him a couple slices of pizza. Real good dude, Avion was. Very good spirit.
Avion was in a car at a gas station at Leonard Street and Fuller Avenue on November 28th when an unidentified gunman opened fire for unknown reasons.
And mentally, I'm still stuck at the gas station when I got the phone call to come to the gas station. That's all I see.
Her son stretched out on the ground near pump number 4.
To see my son laying on this cold ground, I wanted nothing more but to nurture my son till he know that I'm there. That's what I wanted to do.
But even moms are not allowed at crime scenes.
Avion, I'm here. Mom is here. I'm here. Avion, please get up. Please get up, Avion. I'm thinking maybe if he heard his mom, he would get up. Because I know Avion didn't want to die. This I know. This I know. He had too much life. He had too many plans. He had too much things going on for himself. I just want my son back. You know, and I tell God all the time, I'll take him as he is. Just give him back. 17 was not long enough. I'm numb. Not only for me, but for the victims before Avion and after Avion.
She flew with her son's ashes back to family in Ohio.
I shouldn't have to bury my son. He should be burying me. It's the way it's supposed to be.
Mom still struggles to find the words to tell her youngest son that Avion isn't coming home.
You know, my 5-year-old asks every day, where Avion at? Mom, Avion been gone. It's getting dark out. Why Avion haven't came home yet? He do know somebody hurt his brother really bad. He do know that much. But he think he's still at the doctor's. So he wants to pick Avion up.
Her son's homicide is one of 13 still unsolved in Grand Rapids. Police have solved the other 25, most of them with arrests. After the break, Wild West-like shootouts end in death, and the winners walk away with no charges for the killings. Tonight, a targeted investigation into the most violent year in West Michigan. Among the killings, a shootout in a cemetery. In some cases, Wild West-like shootouts led to the deaths. The vanquished later mourned, and the victors not charged with their deaths.
I lost my other half. I came in this world with him, you know, and it's heartbreaking. I just love him so much, and I miss him every day. I cry every morning to get through my days, and I pray, like, you can get me through this day, Deshaun. It's just heartbreaking. You know, you just never expect things like this to happen to your own.
Her twin brother, Deshaun Kirkland, 2 weeks into his 21st year, was at a vigil 1 year to the day after his friend, 21-year-old Jordan Brown, was shot and killed in Grand Rapids. A vigil at Garfield Park Cemetery, where his friend is buried. The manager of that cemetery had been working all day, mowing the grass as friends of Jordan Brown came and went.
And the kids were coming in all day long, you know, leaving flowers and saying, you know, memories of what was going on.
At 4 that afternoon, Kirkland and a former friend drew guns on each other. to settle an old beef.
And they told me that they just got to arguing and shots were fired.
Kirkland lost. 2 bullets hit him, including the fatal shot to the chest, a year to the day after his friend was shot and killed.
So they both have the same date now, May 12th. One is May 12th, 2019, and the other one is May 12th, 2020.
I talked with Jordan's dad after the incident and asked him what happened, and his dad actually was that day cleaning the blood off his son's headstone from his son's best friend.
This gun violence, I mean, last year there were 38 homicides. One of them right here.
Right here.
As the way we stand.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
And I buried probably 7 or 8 of them throughout the summer. Yeah. It's a shame.
The cemetery manager can point out the grave sites of the murder victims he buried last year.
He did this one first. This guy was a pallbearer for that. Then he was shot in his house through the wall, drive-by. Shot him in the back. It's no value on life for some reason today, you know. Some people say that, I had a pastor in one day and said that, you take God out of everything and then all of a sudden there's no value, there's no common language. And the common language today with the kids are the guns.
In the cemetery shooting case, police say the prosecutor denied murder charges because of conflicting witness statements. The shooter now serving up to 5 years in prison on weapons charges.
It's such a shame, it's just a shame.
Basically, the witnesses said that my brother pulled his gun out first, and they considered it self-defense. But
Victim number 13's sister was angry to learn that her twin brother had armed himself.
At the same time, the environment, the way we're living, some people feel like they need to carry a gun around for protection.
But that's not the way she wants her twin remembered.
It's just his laughter. That's one thing I miss is his smile and him making me laugh. Like that, he was stomach hurting funny. Like tears, you don't even understand. I pray for those families, but when you're on the other end of death, you think about life totally different.
Well, where do we start when you hear a story like that?
Kent County Commissioner Robert S. Womack, known on his local radio show as Robert S., has long fought against violence.
There definitely needs to be more of a community outcry about these lives.
In a day's time, violence in the city of Grand Rapids has claimed the lives of 3 people.
3 victims in less than 24 hours. This isn't Grand Rapids. That's not what the city represents.
The killing in Grand Rapids started on the 3rd day of 2020, and the pace stayed steady, pretty much 3 a month. It didn't pick up in the heat of the summer, didn't slow down in the cold.
One victim was taken to the hospital in critical condition. The other died, marking the city's 23rd homicide.
That brings the total to 26 homicides this year. The last time we saw numbers like this was in the early 1990s.
At 33, Grand Rapids is nearing a year-end homicide rate not seen since the crack epidemic of the early 90s.
The Reverend Nathaniel Moody is a Grand Rapids City Commissioner and a mortician. He figures his funeral home handled services for about half of the city's homicide victims last year. And it's not lost on him that most of the dead were people of color. 33 of the 38 in Grand Rapids, 30 of them black.
Sometimes you go in the back of your office and you sit down, and sometimes I would cry and ask the Lord, hey, what's going on? What can we do to stop this?
In a city that's 2/3 white, blacks and Hispanics made up 90% of the victims. In Wyoming, all but 1 of the 8 victims were people of color. In Kalamazoo, 13 of the 15 victims were black or Hispanic.
Around 2 o'clock Sunday morning, Darnell McIntosh took his last breaths.
Once again, violence rips through our community.
After 48-year-old Darnell McIntosh was shot and killed in June, becoming victim number 15, Robert S. Womack announced it to his audience.
Grand Rapids, Michigan, as you have heard, Darnell McIntosh has passed away.
Womack grew up with the victim.
Here we are in the middle of the fight against COVID-19. Here we are in the middle against police brutality. And once again, the crime within the area, it seeks right back upon us. And this isn't just a number, this is a life. Because when I say Black Lives Matter, it's not only when our lives are being taken by those in blue uniforms, it's when those lives are being taken by anybody, including ourselves.
But still, no protests. and little public outcry.
Like you said, Ken, you said, shouldn't it be bigger protests? Shouldn't it be a bigger outcry? And because there isn't a protest and outcry, young people feel no one cares that I shot somebody. That's not big. Nobody got up in protest when a young black man went and shot another young black man in the head. But millions do protest when somebody of another color kills somebody black.
All but 4 of the 19 suspects identified police in Grand Rapids were African American. Among them, 2 suspected members of a gang known as the Seven, who opened fire on 35-year-old Ramito Jones, who had no known connections to his killers, no gang connections. His cousin wears a Black Lives Matter COVID-19 mask.
Black Lives Matter. One thing I always tell people is black lives need to matter to black people. Like, how can you expect other people to respect your life or expect them to love you when you don't love yourself?
COVID, easy guns, and civil unrest. After the break, what led to the most violent year? These streets, bloodier than ever before in 2020. Homicide records in Grand Rapids, Wyoming, and Kalamazoo. So what led to this unprecedented violence? That the numbers kept climbing and the bullets kept flying alarmed everybody. But it wasn't just confined to West Michigan, and experts agree there are many reasons for the growing violence.
You can't just pick one piece of the puzzle. There's a lot of things that led to the perfect storm that created gun violence, not just here in Kalamazoo, but
killings climbed across the country in almost all of the biggest cities, up a whopping 28% in the first 9 months of last year.
We had a perfect storm last year.
Houston Police Chief Art Acevedo is president of the Major Cities Chiefs Association. He puts some of the blame on COVID-19.
So what we've seen is an increase in violence and a lot of crimes of passion where someone just loses their cool, makes a split-second decision, especially in a nation where we're all armed, and people are just having a lot more road rages.
He also blames big city justice systems that are releasing violent criminals on low bonds, only to see them get out and kill.
So it's we've turned our criminal justice system to camp run amok. That coupled with COVID has really impacted us and cities, large and small, across the nation. Again, that was a combination of a court system that is absolutely at a standstill. Trials and hearings on hold for months. Even in Kent County, not one of last year's murder suspects has gone to trial, all blocked by COVID. While Grand Rapids' 38 homicides set a record, it's still nowhere near as violent as Detroit or Chicago, or for that matter, Flint. But we also compared Grand Rapids to 10 other cities of its size and found that it ranked 3rd in homicides, way behind Birmingham, Alabama, which is about the same size as Grand Rapids, and ranked 1st, with a record 121 homicides. That's more than triple we had in Grand Rapids. As for why the jump in violence, local police also put some of the blame on COVID-19. Just 2 years ago, before COVID, Grand Rapids had but 9 homicides.
You look at, is it the pandemic that we've been in? Of course, that increases tensions and kind of eliminates those stress relievers that people have, that you can go out and work out, go to the gym, go to the movies, do those things that kind of help people to relieve stress and tension.
An idle mind is a devil's playground. So they have nothing but time on their hand to get out here and BS around and do a bunch of crap that they shouldn't be doing.
So it's like water boiling and it just finally reaches the boiling point?
To some extent, I think that's what it is. It's simmering. It's definitely simmering, and then the boiling point, and who knows what that boiling point may be. It could be a bad word between two, could be a simple road rage incident. It could be a whole host of things that just all of a sudden triggers it.
In Kalamazoo, COVID forced police to holster a program that had focused on known violent criminals, working with social workers to help them find jobs, housing, get their driver's license, if they put down their weapons.
It's not just put the guns down, it's put the guns down and there's help available if you want. And when we had to shut down for a few months, we lost it. We lost control because you had a group that was a victim of a shooting, and they're going to retaliate. And then it just keeps spinning out of control.
What he calls group-related shootings jumped from 8 in 2019 to 50 last year in Kalamazoo.
Where a lot is blamed on COVID alone, but we didn't have COVID in 93, 94 when we were seeing these type numbers. So I think we have to look at some of the underlying things that are occurring.
Grand Rapids Police Chief Eric Payne was a street cop in the 1990s, the last time that homicide soared.
Unfortunately, back in 93, I was at many of those scenes, and I've been at many of the scenes this year.
He points to poverty, education, and bad parenting, and how easy it is for criminals to get their hands on guns.
We had a rash of gun stores that were broken into. So there's a proliferation of guns that are out there that are available, and there's a lot of them that are being stolen and getting into the wrong hands.
Those gun store break-ins, they've been sold. We know they've been sold. They've been sold here, they've been sold up in Muskegon. So these gun store break-ins, they're not doing it to collect them, they're putting them out on the street. So
it was no surprise then that non-fatal shootings in Grand Rapids tripled last year and more than doubled in neighboring Wyoming.
This is the aftermath. The hookah lounge going from a relaxing night to a state of chaos. The owner says this barrage of bullets started and ended in less than a minute.
We all need to be outraged by this behavior.
Police say on Friday they received a call about a, quote, gun battle near Bates and Henry on the city's southeast side.
My concern is the amount of gunfire that's occurring and people being shot, some intended targets, some innocent, or being shot at. It affects the entire community.
Kicking her sparkly gold shoes without a care in the world. It's been just 2 days since 2-year-old Madison was struck by a bullet.
Madison, riding in the car with her dad last July, caught in the crossfire of a midday gun battle on Burton Street near Union Avenue. The bullet going through a bone in her right arm.
I mean, a 2-year-old is our future. For that baby to have to experience gunfire, senseless gunfire, it's not acceptable. It has to stop.
Just last month, a school bus with one student on board caught in the crossfire of a rolling gun battle. Fortunately, nobody was hurt.
We have groups of individuals who are, for one reason or another, unhappy with each other, and they're taking aim at each other on the street.
This is Robert S., Commissioner Robert S. Womack, live on 102.5 FM. The voice of power is in the house, Grand Rapids, Michigan. We have a lot of issues in the city. I have people approach me. Do you want to buy a gun? Do I want to buy a gun? And before I can say no, they'll pull it out. Show it to you, tell you how much. And you look at that saying, you know the war is coming when the guns get cheap. Then that time is now, because guns in Grand Rapids go between $75 low, $300 top.
And a gun, he says, means power for some.
Here you have what you consider power in the hands of someone coming out of poverty, somebody who's been pushed around, been oppressed, has never really had power, someone who for the first time has power in their hand. And then when they're offended, what do they do with this power?
To lose your child, it's a pain that you can never feel unless you go through it, because it changed the way you sleep, it changed the way you walk, it changed the way you think, it changed the way you eat. You got anger in you sometimes that you never thought you could have.
His son, Julian Trevino, a father of 2, lost to gunfire. Juju, as he was known, had given a ride in his car to a friend of a friend, a convicted felon with a gun. One shot from backseat to front. Victim number 27.
It's a number that I will never forget. It's a number that will stick in my head, and I'm like, how could that even be possible? He was 27. He is the 27th person to die that year. And the date was the 27th. How can that be? I ask my God every day,
29-year-old Darius Harge is a convicted felon, is charged with careless discharge of a weapon causing death and other weapons charges.
It's like, God, not only did you let him get away from me, but the pain he was in when he was there, and then to die by yourself, that was my baby.
Another explanation for the violence? Growing distrust in police after repeated in-custody deaths, often of people of color, leading to widespread unrest here in West Michigan and across the country.
Everything that happened over the summer nationwide eroded trust with law enforcement, so we had less people willing to cooperate and come forward and talk to us. And when you have less people coming forward, you have less closure on some of these shootings, and then you have a greater chance for another shooting and retaliation.
Gangs, graffiti, and guns. After the break, our targeted investigation into the most violent year continues. '20 was West Michigan's most violent year. One common thread from the previous deadliest year in 1993, gangs.
Sunny Medesa Gloria Harwood no longer fears that someone will take her son. She keeps his ashes in a carved oak urn in her china cabinet, guarded by prayer candles.
I'm gonna see him again, and he's gonna smile at me like he always smiles, and he's gonna take Mama. I got a seat waiting right here for you. I know he is.
Her 19-year-old son, Angel De Leon, her firstborn, who had his mom's first name and a broken heart tattooed on his chest, was shot and killed last March. Police and the prosecutor ruled it self-defense, even though the autopsy report obtained by Target 8 shows he was shot squarely in the back of the head.
I did not know my son was in a gang until they came and told me.
Who came and told you?
The cops.
In court records, police identified her son as an associate of the Latin Kings and the shooter as a member of their rivals, the Mexican mob, both active, long-time gangs in Grand Rapids.
So you think they sort of ambushed your son?
They ambushed him. I know they did. I know they did. And my son's not one to back down, though.
Angel De Leon's mom is convinced her son died in retaliation for an earlier gang-related ambush murder of a Mexican mob member by the Latin Kings.
They're just getting revenge on each other. That's it.
Her son died a month after Grand Rapids police and the Kent County prosecutor announced a one-man grand jury had indicted more than a dozen suspects in gang violence from 2019.
What I think we see in the city of Grand Rapids primarily are groups that are associates. Now, they're both dangerous. The organized groups and the groups that aren't organized. In fact, I would say the unorganized group may be even more dangerous because they do whatever.
Records show 2 gang-related homicides last year in Grand Rapids, along with at least 3 other shootings that sent victims to the hospital.
There's still, the Wealthy Street, Bemis, Boulder Crest, Sevens. There's, like I said, are they officially gangs? But they're groups that, we're aware of, and they're out there. I think a lot of the cell phone store stuff is related to, groups like that as well. We've seen a tremendous amount of cell phone store, the car dealerships. Those are not isolated individuals. Those belong to groups as well.
2 members of the 7 gang are accused of shooting a 35-year-old father of 5 to death as he sat in a parked car in October. While the victim, Romito Jones, had no gang affiliations, he was parked outside a store in a neighborhood associated with the Bemis gang. The 7 and Bemis gangs are known rivals. Jones was a well-respected man who had helped his neighbor Hillary Skolton in her run for the U.S. House of Representatives.
He was a dear friend. He was someone who was always there for his family, for his neighbors, for his community.
He had gone to the store to pick up butter.
He was at the wrong place at the wrong time. Some 17-year-old boy wanted to be in a gang, and he had to go to Miss Tracy's and shoot somebody. And my cousin just so happened to be there.
As we have gangs that are now shooting people at random just to join a gang.
The city last year reported a 200% jump in shootings, though police cannot say how many of those were gang-related.
They fired 2 shots. One shot hit the house, and one shot hit my son in the shoulder. Hit him in the shoulder?
Yes. And had my son had not been standing there, it would have went in between the eyes of a 2-year-old child.
Court records show police believe the Mexican mob was behind that drive-by. They've made no arrests. A month later, a shot hit her home, punching a hole next to the window of the second-story bedroom where she was sleeping. Fearing reprisal, she did not want to be identified.
I've gotten low in my own house a few times with people driving by. I don't know. I mean, I had to go out and purchase the 380 because I don't know. They shoot. They just shoot, shoot. Everybody's got a gun.
In Kalamazoo, where police refer to gangs as groups, nearly half the city's homicides last year were group-related.
There's a very small number of people that drive the majority of our gun violence, and a lot of these people are group involved.
Last year, Kalamazoo reported 50 group-related shootings, up from 8 the year before.
We don't have a lot of the nationally affiliated. Ours are local street cliques.
Like named after the street?
Yep, after the certain part of town, the north side, south side, east side, and so they're just street groups, and there's not a lot of structure, but they all associate in groups.
Just one of Kalamazoo's 7 group-related homicides last year is solved.
Our biggest challenges. Our group-involved homicides are the most difficult ones for us to solve. Those ones that are unsolved, we know who did the shootings in most of those. It's just being able to put a case together that we can prosecute, because we got to have the witnesses that are willing to come forward.
Back in Grand Rapids, in a southwest side neighborhood near Burton Street and Buchanan Avenue, the Mexican mob has marked fences and garages with its graffiti.
Any neighborhood where you've got graffiti and stuff like that, I think people are worried and they're very concerned, and that's part of the reason why these cases are so difficult to bring to court is people don't want to talk because they have to be on the streets, they have to live in these neighborhoods where these people operate, so they are not forthcoming.
The Latin Kings and Mexican mob, nothing new in the city?
No, been here for decades.
The recently retired Grand Rapids police officer, who did not want to be identified, worked closely with the feds tracking gangs. The Latin Kings, he says, are part of the People's Nation, an umbrella of gangs based in Chicago, while the Mexican mob is independent. And obviously there have been some gang shootings lately, like Latin Kings and Mexican mobs. I mean, why should we care?
Well, but the bullet doesn't have a conscience. It goes where it's aimed. It doesn't always end up where it was intended. So you've got collateral damage with people that may or may not be involved.
For gangs, he says, retaliation equals justice.
That's part of the game.
What's part of the game?
Retaliation. You take one of ours, you do something with one of ours, we're coming right back at you.
This is the alley where 19-year-old Angel De Leon died a year ago this month, an associate of the Latin Kings. Witnesses say he approached a group of Mexican mob members and fired 2 shots before his gun jammed.
My son said he had to meet somebody at 7 o'clock, and he was dead at 7:20.
Police and prosecutors say that a reputed member of the Mexican mob returned fire in self-defense, shooting her son in the head. Police found a 9mm Smith & Wesson next to the victim's body. The shooter, who was last seen running away and jumping into a car after that shooting, was never charged, and the dead teen's mom did not know until Target 8 told her that her son was shot from behind. Here's the autopsy report.
Okay.
It shows that he was shot in the back of the head.
This is the first time I ever heard where he got shot. It raises so many questions because I didn't know he was shot in the back of his head. I was thinking face. How do I know that they weren't attacking him and he was trying to get away from them?
Police and prosecutors defended the self-defense ruling, saying it would be difficult to prosecute the death of a man in a shootout, no matter where the bullet hit him. But the dead teen's mom is convinced the shooting was in retaliation for a killing 8 months earlier.
That little boy made me a mom.
Angel De Leon's mom takes some of the responsibility for her son's connection to the gang. She raised 5 kids on her own. Angel was her oldest.
He was, special. I had him at 14. I ran away just to make sure I could take care of him.
But when her son was 7 or 8, she dated a gang member from the Mexican mob.
They call me a mob girl because I was dating one of them.
Okay. And you knew he was Mexican mob?
Yeah, I did. I regret because I showed my kids that was okay, it wasn't. I told them never to be in it. But when you affiliate yourself with them, how do they learn that, you know?
Her son died not long after serving time in a boot camp for robbery. But she says he had gotten his GED and a job.
He was on his way. I don't know where, but he was on his way, so he was doing really good.
After her son's death, she talked on social media of going to police, leading to a threat on Snapchat. Quote, "If your mom ain't ready for a funeral, don't F with me."
To me, God's powerful more than they are. So if something's gonna happen to me, God's gonna let that happen to me. If that's the way I go, then that's the way I go, but I'm gonna do it protecting my kids. I'm not gonna let them sit there and threaten us. I have one more son that I'm scared to death. He's 16. I'm scared to death because of how his mindset is and how somebody killed his brother. Now he feels like he has to get revenge. I'm scared. I mean, I'm scared for my kids.
She believes her son is in heaven with her father, who died a month before him.
I want my son to his name to stand for something. If it's for gang violence, then for other kids to see, look, is it worth it? If he did go over there to kill somebody, if he did go over there to self-defense for us or to protect us, was it worth it? Because he's gone and we're all hurt. I'm never gonna be the same. My heart will never be the same. I feel so cold.
Will it take more than ending a pandemic to quell the violence? Now back to our targeted investigation. Will it take more than ending a pandemic to quell the violence?
More often than ever last year in West Michigan, sagging yellow police tape connected trees to stop signs. In campgrounds of small yellow evidence tents, marked shell casings spread across sidewalks and streets. Crime scenes at night soaked in alternating flashes of blue and red.
What I'm trying to figure out is, when you kill them, how do you feel?
Back in the 90s, some bent on ending the violence put a mirror in a casket and called up the young people.
When they got up there and they saw that mirror inside and they saw themselves, the reflection was on them. And the reflection is this: do you see yourself in here, or do you see yourself being productive in society? In essence, what it was saying is that let's stop this violence or you will be next. In 21, we have to do something different.
The hope, of course, is that once the pandemic ends, violence will at least subside. But it's not likely that simple. Back in the 90s, in response to violence, the city offered its first ever gun buyback.
Critics of the program say it's not the answer to violence on the streets, but others believe it's a start.
You can't pick up the paper or look at the news today without guns, guns, guns.
Last year, the city held its second ever gun buyback, taking in more than 250 weapons.
Since September, we've taken over 100 guns off the street that were involved in crimes. We had our gun buyback where legal guns were turned in. There are a tremendous amount of guns out there that are available, and unfortunately, people are using them.
If you are illegally selling guns to the youth in Kent County, we need to put you on alert that we want you, and we don't want to let you go anytime too soon. Because a young person with a gun in their hand is experiencing a power that they do not know how to handle.
But it's just not that simple.
It's more than just guns and bullets, then.
Yes. Yes. It's more than guns and bullets.
Grand Rapids is spending $225,000 on what it calls an evidence-based program to reduce gun violence and retaliation. The police department in July is expected to start assigning cops to neighborhood beats to get to know neighbors and rebuild trust. Kent County Commissioner Robert S. Womack has proposed a joint task force between the county and city to focus on gangs, arresting leaders, and helping followers.
Finding out how can we help you get out the gang before you get into some serious crime.
The city of Wyoming is adding 4 new cops, in part in response to the violence. In Kalamazoo, police have restored a program to help the most violent offenders, as long as they put down their guns. Last year, COVID had shut it down, but local leaders say it will take more.
We know there are a lot of systematic systemic reasons there's violence in our community. At the end of the day, it comes down to us valuing lives.
We can't put this on the city. We can't put it on our police department. We have to take up the mantle and say, we're going to figure out a way as a community to stop these killings. We need jobs. We need jobs and we need businesses. And I think that will curb the killing.
Womack has regularly gathered with family, friends, and neighbors of victims to march against violence.
The majority of the people that show up are women. We're always outnumbered. About 8 women every man.
Women like Avion Cloud's mom.
I cry every day. My eyes are never dry. Never dry.
Or Angel De Leon's mom.
That was his big smile. Everybody talks about his big smile.
The mothers are on the forefront of this battle, and the men in this community, I continue to call them out and say we can't leave those mothers out there by themselves. Us coming together and saying we have to solve this. We have to be the biggest voice. These are young men pulling these triggers. And if we're not the leading force telling them this is not the route to manhood, going to prison doesn't make you a man. Going to prison is nothing you should be proud of. Killing your own brother is nothing you should be proud of.
Survivors of those killed in the most violent year don't want them remembered by the order in which they died. Some carry the wrongly departed's ashes in lockets.
This second necklace that you see is his ashes. I have his ashes in here.
Whenever Olga Avela's son wasn't home and she heard sirens in her neighborhood, she grew fearful.
My son got shot. That would be my first thought. Always on edge, you know. He's in a better place, though. He doesn't have to worry. I don't have to worry.
Her 22-year-old son was shot and killed in November outside the wealthy street market. Police arrested his accused killer. Can you talk about what the world lost?
A kind, loving, caring, intelligent man. Lost a son, a brother, a father.
His mom also wears an organ donation bracelet, her son's legacy.
And he did save 6 people's lives with his organs.
Victim number 1, Tony Stewart, a 29-year-old father shot outside Miss Tracy's liquor store, allegedly by a 4-time felon. Also donated his organs.
He saved so many people. He saved like 8 people's lives. My daughter been having dreams that he's back alive. You know, it's just like it's hard, you know, because the babies know him. You know, they loved him.
The mother of Grand Rapids' last victim, victim number 38, keeps her son's ashes in a box next to her favorite chair. Her apartment is his memorial. An unknown gunman ambushed her 28-year-old son, the youngest of 5, a father of 3, on December 27th in a church parking lot not far from his sister's home.
He didn't deserve that. And he never did nothing to nobody. So I don't see why would y'all do that to him? Like, it hurts so much.
Since her son's death, she has fought against crying.
I tell my people like this. My son came to me and told me, don't cry. And I'm keeping that promise. I gotta keep it.
A short time after his death, she called his cell phone, hoping for an answer.
I did it one time. I called him. And I said, I love you. I miss you. Call me. But I know it wasn't gonna happen.
Pulling a gun, anybody can pull a gun and shoot somebody. But it takes a stronger person to say, I'm not gonna do it.
I say put the guns down. I'd rather be doing something else than talking about the death of my son.
Why do you think it's important to talk about Giovanni's death?
So people can stop shooting each other. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Killing each other for nothing, just to end up in prison or even dead.
And I just wish it all to stop. It needs to stop. Like, put the damn guns down.
They hope the cries to end the violence won't be buried this year. There is hope for more peace. This year through early this week, 2 homicides in Grand Rapids. On this day a year ago, 9 lives had already been lost. We hope this broadcast will help continue a community-wide discussion about the violence that has taken so many lives. We invite you to leave your comments on our Facebook page. And if you know anything about the unsolved killings, we ask that you call your local police department or Silent Observer. I'm Targeted Investigator Ken Coker. Be safe and be kind.